It's pretty overcast today, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's supposed to rain or what, but I decided to come over here to my usual spot where I kind of hang out at the coffee house sometimes. People watch. Sometimes I do art and paint and write. Today I am going to read, and I've been reading Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, mainly because this book has been mentioned so many different times in so many different videos and other books I've read. I believe it was even mentioned in the Secret video for people who watched The Secret years ago. And I've always wanted to read it, so I've started reading it. And then I'm also going to journal while I'm over here. Explore more. Theme of my life right now. And by the company Markings. Shout out to you. I always love the journals that Markings have on the market. And that one was kind of inexpensive. I had not journaled for a while. Probably since early summer. And so when everything kind of happened with my brother, you know, his illness progressing and him passing away, I just thought in addition to grief counseling, I needed to journal again. I've been journaling off and on, pretty much on, since I was probably like 11 and a half years old. It allows me to free my thoughts. It allows me to say what's in my heart, on my mind, in my subconscious maybe, and not edit myself. And I highly recommend it. Don't just do it when things are kind of rough or difficult for you, but do it in general. You'll be surprised years later when you read and flip back through some of the things you were going through. I regrettably ripped up and tore up a bunch of the pages from when I was a kid. And I guess I did that about 3-4 years ago. I'm not even sure why I did it. I think I was in the middle of a move and just didn't want to pack up a bunch of stuff. So yeah, some of my early journal entries are destroyed. But going forward, I decided I'm not doing that anymore. One of the things that my brother's death has taught me too is to prepare something so that the loved ones that I leave behind when it's my time will know what to do with certain things. And I think for my writings, my art, my music, that I'm going to leave very specific instructions for whoever's left to follow. If it's not my parents, and I say it that way because, I mean, who knew my brother would pass? He was the youngest. If it's not my parents, like if I outlive them, then whoever remains will have instructions. When my brother passed, or before he passed, he said a lot of things that he wanted done. Some of them don't make sense to me, but that's okay. He knew what he wanted. One of them being he did not want a funeral. I understand kind of where he was coming from, but the people you leave behind need a sense of closure. They need a sense of full completion and a sense of gathering in terms of having the support that they need in that initial early stage of the grief. And when you don't have some kind of something, it makes it harder. So I'll just let the world know I won't be doing that. When I go, I want some kind of service for the people that remain. It doesn't have to be a traditional funeral. It can be an immediate celebration of my life. It can be a creativity festival. I don't know. It can be anything like that. Something that represents who I was as a person. Something that lets the world know, in case you didn't know while I was alive, that I'm a woman of faith, that I'm a woman who not necessarily has ever been tied to organized religion per se. I mean, I love church. I love going to church. I love worshiping and listening to the word of God being preached. I enjoy listening to the choirs. I enjoy the fellowship that ensues. But I didn't grow up Catholic, but I enjoy Mass. You know, going to Mass, kind of having the ritualistic, amazing ambiance that I experience at a Catholic Mass. I love that. Being of Jewish heritage on one side, I enjoy synagogue. I have no ties to the Muslim world, but I have been in a mosque and I enjoy that. You know, being of Asian descent in one line, I even enjoy kind of that Eastern philosophy regarding nature and, you know, regarding certain principles. So even though I'm a Christian, there's a lot that I feel a connection to, and the esoteric information that defies organized religion, I'm really attuned to that as well. So a celebration of my life would be fine. I said all of that to say that. For anyone else who, and it's kind of morbid to think about, this is what I want when I go. But it's something you really have to think about, because you don't know when you're going to go. You don't. And one thing that makes it a little bit easier or a little bit more comforting is knowing that you have something prepared in place for your loved ones. If you want a funeral, you have a funeral plan that's been paid for. You know, burial plot that's been paid for. Crematory services that have been paid for. It's something that your family doesn't have to worry about, because insurance doesn't pay right away. It can be a month or so before the deceased person's insurance comes through. Well, you have to do something before that, right? So that, and then writing your obituary. I've written my obituary twice before. The first time I did it as an exercise when I was 18 years old, just going into college for my basic reporting class. That was our first assignment, because back in those days, everybody ran an obituary in a newspaper. So you had to know how to write one properly, should you end up writing or working at a newspaper. So that was my first assignment. And at 18 years old, that was morbid as can be, because, you know, you're just becoming an adult and you don't want to think about when you die. I'm doing way more talking than I intended to do on this, but I'm just saying, you've got to be ye also ready. That's what I'm saying. So I think of all this as I look around. I think I'm going to go inside, check out the Christmas decorations and the scene, and sit and read for a little bit.